Okay. Deborah, first, just tell me what is going through your mind right now after learning of what happened in court today, and tell me about your children.
My children were absolutely amazing. They were three beautiful little souls that didn't deserve this. I should have stick to my guns and not had their father see them. But, I thought what was right is that the father should be involved. The father should see them. He always said he would never do anything to the kids, never thought anything of it. And I have regret every day of my life that I let him see those kids, because I would never have thought that he would have done something so tragic like this.
What happened in court today? A $10 million bond. What's your reaction to that?
I wish it was no bond. I was hearing that about no bond. Like, obviously, I would pretty much think his family couldn't afford $1 million, but no bond would have been better for me because he doesn't deserve to get out.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the kind of kids that your little ones were?
Brian, he was 5 years old. He was going to start kindergarten this year, and he was super excited to start kindergarten. He was super duper smart. Anything you asked, he had a question for everything and anything, and his response would always be why. And at some points I had to say ask Google, because I don't know why, with certain things like science and everything. He loved Sonic. He loved video games, but he did it to the extent compared to what his father did. His father constantly played games and neglected his family, where Brian did it, but he always wanted me to interact with him and play with him. He was the smartest kid in the world, and he wanted to be an astronaut to go to the moon. He always told me, "Don't worry, Mommy, I'll always take care of you." And that was Brian. He was my man. He was the only man I needed in my life. And Cassidy, she was my mini me. She was a Sour Patch Kid. She was the sweetest girl in the world, but she could also be the evilest. She was a typical woman, a typical woman who, she could be the sweetest person, but then if you got her angry, she would come at you. I didn't have to worry about the safety of my boys because I knew their sister would take control and handle it all. She loved her makeup. She loved her nail polish. She loved everything girly, no matter how like tomboyish and like strong she was. She still loved her girly stuff, and she loved to eat just like me. Anything and everything, she would eat, and I loved it. We were eating buddies together. And Gideon, he was my baby boy that I didn't think I would ever have. And it was like a miracle baby. I was so surprised because they were Irish twins. He loved Mommy so much. He was a mama's boy. He loved dinosaurs. He loved Luca. He loved Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the hot dog song. He would bounce his butt to dance. We would all dance together so much. All I wanted to do was dance with my kids. And every time I left or go to the store or anything, he was just crying because he wanted me back. And I just wish I was there for them that day. I wish I was there to grab them before this all happened. Yeah, I left a month ago. So the whole relationship has been rocky, and I've thought about leaving. I've left multiple times actually, and a month ago was kind of like a set in stone. Like, this is it. I need to leave. He hasn't had a job since November. He doesn't do anything around the house. I'm basically the mother and father of the whole relationship. so I could do it on my own. So why not leave? So plus the abuse, mental and physical abuse. I felt stupid with him the entire relationship, and nobody else has ever made me feel so stupid before. So I left, and then I was meeting with a lawyer. I called a lawyer to get everything official. She had said all I gotta do is get the money, and then we'll send papers. And he found that out, and I think the fact that he knew I would always come back before and I'd always give in, this time it was different. This time I wasn't giving in. I wasn't coming back. It was set in stone that I was leaving because I deserved better. And the most important thing to me were the kids. And he knew that. He knew that nothing mattered to me but those children. And he took them away from me because he knew that would hurt me the most. I mean, at first I was going to do joint custody, and then I thought I know he's been mentally ill. He never accepted to get help for it because he said he could always do it himself. He would never get help for it. And he's like, he's fine. He could do it himself, talk to people. I'm like, okay. But in the end, I was going to try to get full custody because I didn't believe him. I wanted my kids to go outside and play rather than being locked upstairs on the TV with video games constantly every day. I wanted to explore the world with my kids rather than being locked in the house. So I was going to try to get full custody for my kids. The fact that he couldn't do it to himself, he couldn't do it to the children. He always told me he couldn't do anything to his children. My beef was with you, not with the children. So I never worried about the children because you love your children and you should never do anything to your children. So it's like it was me. It was a different story. And I just had so much faith, so much love that it would all work out in the end. And it didn't. I tried so hard. I offered him money. I offered him to help him get himself up, ready to go. And it's because I wouldn't come back. It just changed everything.
She even tried to, before the day before the children were discovered, she tried to get him to be included with the doctor's appointments.
I wanted him to come to the doctor's appointment with us and to be together as a family. He said, I don't know, I don't want false hope is what he had said. But I said, okay, well, just think about it. If you want to come to the doctor's appointment with us, please come. Like, I want you there. We had happy times at the last conversation asking about birthmarks on the kids and the tooths that were lost and all the stuff with the kids. We had a really happy time, which was mind-blowing to find out that he had killed our kids
right after that conversation,
because we had a really good conversation. So the only thing to rely on is faith. Before this, I thought, who could think of Jesus and God? Who could think of them? Because they took my children away. But at this point now, that's all you can think about. You don't know until you're in this situation that all you can think about is God and Jesus and the ones you've lost, because that's the only amazing feeling you get to know that my kids are with my Father up in heaven fishing. They're with my aunt. They're with my grandma, telling them not to touch her drapes. They're all up there right now. So I always thought I was one of those people. How can you think of religion? F religion. They took your kids away, but when it happens to you, that is the only thing you can think about, because you want there to be a better side. You want to know that your kids are safe. You want to know that your kids are there, and you want to know that you can be with your kids someday, so that all the other stuff doesn't matter. I will wait till everything happens, and I can be with my children one day. He was in the military, but he never fought combat. He never fought the actual mental combat that you would fight. He was linguistics, just talking about something.
He spoke Arabic.
He
in
spoke
Afghanistan.
Arabic barely within Afghanistan. So then after that, he wanted to join the military so that he could die. He had said that at his father's funeral. He wanted to join the military so he could die. So right there was mental illness. And then the step of our relationship, anytime I thought or threatened of leaving, he said he wanted to kill himself. You know, after a while, it's just kind of a repetitive thing. Like, this person's not actually going to kill themselves.
He would just use it as a
As a
manipulation tactic.
manipulation.
Yeah.
He never actually did it. And what killing himself is one thing, but killing our children is another. It's just like he would always use it. But then it's like nobody ever wants to call 911. Hey, this person's going to kill himself. So we'd always use it as a manipulation tactic just to keep me around. And towards the end, he used it as well, but he hadn't used it. He hadn't used it in the last month or so. He was good after, like, I officially left him for a month. He was better. And then I talked to the kids the night before. Said, I love you so much. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And the next day, they're gone. So, yeah. So many people told me, do not let him have him. Do not let him have him. He was mentally ill. To leave him constantly. But I was mind manipulated that he was a good person, that he was a good father, that all this stuff, and just kept playing over and over and over and over and over again in my mind. So my thing is that if you have an inkling, if you have any kind of theory of no or anything, if this person, first of all, this person says to be suicidal, that's a guaranteed no. Do not let them see these kids. I don't care if it's a father, I don't care if it's a mother, I don't care anything. Do not let them see these kids, because these kids love me so much. They wanted me more than their father. And I let them go. My baby had said just to stay only one day, and I left him longer. And if that were the case, they would still be with me today. Just trust your gut. Trust what people say. I don't care if those people are crazy. Trust what they say. I don't care how many courts, how many law officers, anybody get involved. Stick to your gut. Keep your kids. Because that is all that matters. Because some people out there don't care about them.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.